Hello and welcome to my vintage audiophile channel. Today I'm doing my 29th video, and what I'm going to review today is the Sennheiser RS-180 wireless headphone system. It was marketed at the time as a TV headphone system, but it can be used with just about anything at all that comes with either RCA jacks or quarter-inch headphone adapter, or the standard 3.5 millimeter headphone adapter. As you can see, sitting beside it is a portable CD player that is connected to it via the headphone jack and into the input on the back of the receiver. This is a really nice system, starting with RS 160, 170, and 180. They all use the same RF transmission with what was called Clear technology. That was KLEER. It was some company that they partnered with that gives really good reception. These headphones are not like the older ones that were back in the older days. I have a RS-120, which was back from around 20 years ago, that had a 30 feet range for transmission before the signal would break up. These have a 100-foot range, which is significantly better. You can go anywhere in your house, basement, upstairs, main floor, wherever, even out into the yard if you'd like to, and listen to these without having to move the transmitter along with it. That makes it a lot more convenient. Like I say, this was marketed as being a TV headphone, probably mainly because at that time Bluetooth was starting to become more popular, and Bluetooth headphones were becoming more popular. This one is not technically Bluetooth. It is, like I say, RF radio frequency transmission, but it works in a similar fashion. But you have to have it paired with the transmitter in order for it to work. And speaking of pairing, the pairing on these are really easy to do out of the box if you find one brand new. They are already pre-configured to be configured with each other, so you just turn on the transmission power button here, and on the side of these headphones there's a lot of different buttons that it has on it, with the middle one here being the multi-function button that you can push and hold a second, as well as hold the first second on here, and it'll be paired with your headphones. They usually recommend that you turn on your source first, just so that there is something for it to search for. But I've never tried it any other way, so I don't know if you could turn it on after you're paired. I don't know why you couldn't, but I've always just did it the safe way. Like I said, this headphone is a really nice headphone. It is very sturdy. There you've got the three things on there that pair up with the three nodules that are on the top here for charging, because this can take rechargeable headphone batteries, which are just standard 1.2 volt AAA batteries, 2 of them, and it'll recharge. When it's out of the box, they recommend charging for 16 hours to get the batteries fully charged. Once they are fully charged, it takes like 6 hours maybe to fully recharge it if they are fully discharged. They have a 1 week standby time if you're not using them and they're not sitting on the cradle. If you are fully charged, you can listen to these things for 24 hours before they need to be recharged again, which is considerably much more than your standard Bluetooth audio that's out there, especially the little ones they have these days, which have only a 3 or 4 hour time. you can use these for 24 hours before you have to worry about recharging them again. That makes a big difference, especially if you're in a like a work environment where you're working more than 3 or 4 hours a day, which most people do. You don't have to interrupt your music because your headphones are no longer working. As I was saying before, they have a lot of different buttons on here. You've got a volume up, like I said, the multifunction button here, volume down, and then it also has adjustable balance for left and right. They are open air design. The specs on these are pretty darn good too. They spec out at 18 hertz to 21 kHz for frequency response, which is really good, with a dB of 106 dBs. I have my CD player, which has a bass boost button on it. Excuse me. And I have turned that bass boost button on, and the sound coming out of there gets really deep. It's definitely not lacking for bass. It will go down low. I'm not sure if it goes down the full 18 hertz, but it does definitely boom a bit. And it's not a muddy boom either. It's a pretty tight, well organized bass. And the highs are there too. You can, if you got a good recording that has good cymbal crashes or high vocal ranges, or even classical, they sound amazing. I can't say enough good things about these particular headphones. If you're not too hung up about having a transmitter and a headphone that is wireless, technically, there are no wires hooked up to them, you wouldn't be doing any of yourself a disservice by buying these. You can get them used on some of the websites for well under $100, and they're pretty amazing. I highly recommend them. And just to let you see that they do work, I am going to first turn on my power on my CD player. Then I am going to turn on the button here. All you need to do is hold it for a second and it'll start flashing. Do the same on here. And there you can see it's in the background. You can hear that it is playing. I won't turn it up loud or anything like that because I don't want to break any YouTube laws. But like I say, once it's paired instantly. This also is able to take up to 4 headphones in tandem that you can play all at once. So 4 different users can use the this with. Of course, they'd have to listen to the same music you're listening to, but if they are all clear technology type headphones, which, like I say, is the RS-160, 170, and 180, it doesn't matter what model it is of those 3, because they are the clear technology. They will pair with the headphones, no problem. The only thing you'll have to do is, because they weren't originally associated with the transmitter, all you need to do is press and hold this button, and of course this multi button here, for 7 seconds, and hold it, pressing both at the same time. Then it will search itself, and you'll have your foreign invader, if you want to call it that, headphone that isn't associated with this transmitter. It'll now be paired, and because it is paired, it'll stay paired. So if you ever want to use it again, you wouldn't have to go through that same steps again. You just push on the button on both transmitters, and and your headphone, and it'll be working. And then you can have pretty much your whole family listen to the same music if you want to, or if it is hooked up to a TV, for different people listening to the same soundtrack of a movie or whatever you happen to be watching at the time, which makes for a quiet listening experience, especially for those who have a little bit more trouble hearing than others because they're hooked up to their own headphones. They can adjust their volume accordingly so that they can all listen at different levels if they have to, and everybody will be able to hear everything clearly instead of one person shouting to turn up the TV and another person shouting to having to turn it down. It makes a big difference. Helps save marriages maybe even by not having fights because of the volume. So that is my review of these. If you like this review, please give me a good review. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got a lot of videos on there right now. Like I said, this is my 29th video, and I'm going to keep producing videos as long as people want to watch them. And please feel free to leave any comments that you'd like about this video or any other videos of mine that you may watch. And just by the way, this is what we are currently listening to, but I can't tell you what song I'm listening to or anything. Scorpions' greatest hits. And until next time, have a nice day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.